Hello, my name's Joanna McFarlane and I run an environmental education business called Wild Planet Explorers. And what I do is I deliver sessions to children as young as 3 up to 8, sharing amazing animal biology and conservation facts with them using interactive props and imaginative play. And trying to share with them what they can do to help the animals I teach them about. And also for older children, I also do presentations around the global threats to wildlife and show them too that they have an amazing role to play in saving our wildlife around the world. So when I was growing up, just as the children are today, I grew up in the 80s where there were no computers and, well, certainly no computers like there are today, and no mobile phones. And so whenever I was having to write a story for school or write at home or write a letter to any of my grandparents or anyone else, I would always use my hand to write. And even now to this day I try and encourage my daughter to write letters to her grandparents and aunties and uncles in the same way. And that is because when you take time to write a letter, you're removing yourself from everything else around you. And you're taking a breath, you're thinking about life and what you want to share in that letter. And it's a very special thing to put pen to paper and then share those words in your own hand with someone else. So all through my childhood and all through growing up and all my studies, when my love of biology and animals was growing, I would always just write essays, I would write stories, and I would write letters to people like David Attenborough, who, by the way, still writes letters by hand at the age of 94, back to people who write to him. So please do write to David Attenborough. He will reply eventually, but by hand. I think he really appreciates that. But you know, if I hadn't been able to write, I wouldn't have been able to do all my essays for university and all my studies. And it wouldn't have brought me to where I am now, having had an amazing opportunity through life to see incredible wildlife around the world, meet amazing people who are as passionate as I about wildlife and the planet. And it's brought me to this point now where I'm running Wild Planet Explorers, an environmental education business. And this is all about trying to inspire children to explore, to care and take action to protect nature. And when I was starting to write my sessions, I started trying to do it on a computer, tapping away. And I just couldn't connect to the screen, and I just couldn't do it that way. So what I did was I took myself away from the technology and I sat in a quiet place, cup of tea, and I started writing by hand all of my scripts. I could scribble it out, I could cross it out, and then I could write again, and I didn't care. I was just expressing myself freely from my imagination. And I've written every single script of Wild Planet Explorers in that way, never on a computer, always. All those new ideas, everything I'm writing has always been on paper, and I will continue to do that because I love and enjoy doing that myself, just in a corner somewhere scribbling away, or in a cafe just letting it all pour out from my imagination. And hopefully the children who watch those sessions and get involved in them will see that lovely feeling of imagination has come out in my session that I put down on paper. And additionally now, I would really love to try and promote a campaign across the country and across the world of trying to encourage children to start writing to our elderly population across our countries, to those particularly in the UK, for example. We know there's a big problem around elderly people living alone and loneliness, as well as other people being at home and lonely. And I really believe there's a wonderful opportunity for children to start writing letters to people who are living on their own, so they can practice their handwriting and then also understand the difference it makes for someone who's elderly, for example, who's grown up also for a large part of their lives with no technology whatsoever, to receive a handwritten letter from a child. So hopefully this is perhaps something I will do from Wild Planet Explorers, and encourage children perhaps to share their favourite animals and their favourite parts of nature with those who are living alone and need some little boost of nature in their lives. So everyone, I guess for me the message is please encourage children to write. Perhaps one day technology might fail us and we may never be able to get back online for maybe weeks at a time, and then we will all have to return back to writing letters and writing our work down, and perhaps going back to just being able to post it. Who knows what the future holds? So really please continue to encourage children to write whenever you can. And if you want to ever contact me at Wild Planet Explorers, I would love to read children's writing, handwritten letters, and you can message the page for the address to send those to. And let's hear all about what children love about animals and nature from their own written hand. And I've already received lots of those already, and I can tell you they're very, very special to me. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening.